What's up, guys? It's Chad here, with another video. So I'm going to be uploading quite a few videos today. I've already uploaded one, which, if you guys haven't seen it yet, it's my Rocket Raccoon Funko Pop unboxing video that I had won through these amazing pages. So if you haven't checked that video out, check them out. Also, make sure to check out the people that I had put their links in the description. So let's get into the video. In this video, we're going to be reviewing, or I'm going to be reviewing, Fighting with My Family. Alright guys, so what Fighting with My Family is it's kind of just a documentary on Paige. Paige is a diva wrestler. She is now a manager of the tag team Kabuki Twins, or whatever it's called. But it's made up of Kairi Sane and Asuka. They're both Japanese wrestlers that have wrestled, and they are now in SmackDown Live. But so Paige's movies when she was a little kid growing up to wrestling. So that's like kind of what this movie's about. So at the beginning, it's just Zach, her little brother, and her. And the thing about Zach is he says this in the movie, he can tell superstars by their boots, by what boots the superstars wear. And so, kind of what this movie is about. So, Paige's family is all into wrestling. Her dad did wrestling, her mom, her two brothers, Ron and Zach, and her. So her and her brother and her parents had started this wrestling thing, and they would recruit like kids to come and wrestle, and they have this space and they have this wrestling ring. So they would always drive around in this van and pick kids up. The thing is, they went and picked a blind kid up because they were teaching him how to wrestle because he wanted to wrestle, which I thought was really cool. Teaching a blind kid how to wrestle, like, that's unique. But just imagine wrestling a blind kid like that. And this kid gets good, like, throughout the movie. So just imagine wrestling a really good blind kid. Like, you'll just be like, whoa. But it's cool. Like, that's amazing. But so later on in the movie, it's kind of just showing how Paige had gotten into WWE, having to go through training and stuff. And so Vince Vaughn plays their coach. And then there's The Rock in there. There's also Sheamus and Big Show later on in the movie. Then there is there's a different actor playing Paige. So there's this one scene where her and Zach are in this ring. Ron right now is in jail right now. Not right now at this moment, but like in the movie. This part I'm talking about. So Ron's in prison, and so because when he tried getting into WWE, and they rejected him, he kind of got into drugs and stuff, and it also even says that. So he got into drugs, he got arrested, went to jail, and so it's just Paige and Zach. So Paige and Zach go to this WWE tryout thing to see if they can make it further to try to get on the main roster, or at least to NXT is what they're trying to do, and then get in the main roster of WWE. So Vince Vaughn, I don't even remember what the coach's name is called, but it's just a bunch of wrestlers and Paige and Zach. So Zach beat like quite a few guys, and then Paige lost her tryout match, but yet still managed to get picked. So Vince Vaughn, the character Vince Vaughn plays the coach. I'm just gonna call him the coach. And so he's just like, if I call your name, you've made it. And if I don't, then this is the end for you. Thanks for coming. And he just looks down at his clipboard and says, Paige. And says, thanks for coming, everyone. everyone's surprised, and Paige is like, no. Like, he starts walking out. The coach starts walking out, and then Paige runs out. And she's like, no, I can't. Like, I'm not doing this without Zach. And Zach's like, come on. Like, you can do this. Like, it's fine. So she's going to Florida, and he has to stay home and take care of the wrestling thing they had. And so she's like, no, like, I'm not doing this without you, Zach. And they're like, kind of arguing. They're like, no, you can, like, just go. I'll be fine. And then so they try, like, getting the other. Before this, Zach had this girlfriend, and they got a call. And they said that they got him there. So that's when they went to the venue to try out. And then after this happened, like, she's like, okay, I can do this, after the coach had given her like 5 counts, or else like the deal would have been over. So she's like, okay, I can do this. So then they go home, and like Zach's just sitting there. He, like, his face, you can tell like he's upset and pissed that he didn't get chosen. And then Paige is sitting there like all happy. She's like crying tears of joy, and like her parents are happy, and Zach's happy for her, and everyone there's happy for her. Well, she goes to Florida, and Paige has this British accent because she's from England. And so she gets to her hotel, and there's like these models there that are trying out for WWE also. And so they're like, these girls make fun of her throughout the movie. But then like they start kind of teasing her and stuff, and then yeah, throughout the movie they kind of tease her, and then like she kind of gets upset with the way she looks. They get made fun of, or she gets made fun of. And then they were at this promo, they were at this NXT thing, and they were doing promos. And so Paige goes on, and everyone's like, boo, you look like my grandma, blah, blah, blah. And so, like, she gets upset with the way she looks, because, like, you're goth or whatever, because, like, she has black hair and was, like, wearing black clothes and stuff. So then later on in the movie, like, a couple scenes after that, she dyes her hair blonde and, like, kind of gets a sun, or, like, a tan a little bit. And so she goes around, and everyone's like, what did you do? Like, because she's sitting there like, she went from really white with black hair to like tan with blonde hair. And like they're on a bus, and it's kind of just all this movie's really about is Paige trying to get up to WWE and her trials of going through. Training for her was hard. Like, training for WWE is not easy whatsoever. And so, like, he sends her home because he doesn't think she can do it. So she's always worried about Zach, like, and so he's like, well, go home, because you can spend more time with Zach and your family than be here halfway across the world, because she's in the USA. Her family's in England. And so she goes back home, and then Zach ends up like Ron, except he doesn't go to jail. He's in this bar, and these guys come up, and Zach, like, gets all pissed, and he's, like, trying to fight them, and then, like, their parents come, and Paige comes, and she's like, whoa, Zach, what are you doing? And, like, he didn't want to talk to her. And so there's this other scene where it's getting close to Christmas, so they're all dressed up in, like, Santa clothes, and then, like, so it's a match between Zodiac Zach and Paige. I forgot Paige's real name, but he doesn't do as what is supposed to be going on. He starts doing his own thing, and so, like, after that, Paige is like, well, what the heck? Like, you didn't do what you're supposed to. You literally just went haywire. Like, you didn't care what you did. Like, you actually, like, slapped me and hurt me and stuff. And so, like, he gets all pissed because he didn't make it in the WWE. And how they announced it, they were like, oh, Zodiac Zack and WWE's finest Paige, or whatever they said. And so Zack gets all pissed and stuff, and yeah, it's crazy. But then later on in the movie, like, Zack is like, no, like, you should go, because this is something we've been dreaming for a long time, dreaming about. And so she's like, yeah, but you've been dreaming it more. Yeah, I still got the shot, and you didn't. But then, like, they start, like, pushing. Her dad was, like, pushing her, like, pushing. He's like, no, I don't care. She needs to go back. And her mom's like, if she doesn't want to do it, then don't make her do it. And so, kind of going on, she goes back to Florida, and she walks up to the coach, and she's like, well, I still want to continue. Later on, she does way better in training. She does way better in all the things she's supposed to do. And then eventually, she goes to WrestleMania, not wrestling, but she gets to go to WrestleMania and watch. And so, she meets The Rock before their little tryout thing. And so later, she meets up with The Rock, and then, like, she sees Big Show and Sheamus. And so she goes into this one room with The Rock, and they call her parents. And, like, The Rock's, like, asking Paige to call her parents so he could talk to her. Because it's The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, talking to her parents. And so he was like, this is The Rock. And then her dad's like, and I'm Vin Diesel. And he's like, no, really, it's The Rock. And, like, they don't believe them. And then, like, they, like, prove it. So he does his signature, can you smell what The Rock is cooking? But he's like, can you smell what The Rock is cooking? And then, like, her dad was like, it is The Rock. And so they start talking and going in depth a little more. She just watches WrestleMania. The next day is, so WrestleManias are on Sundays, right? Usually their pay-per-views are on Sundays. Money in the Bank was just yesterday, and I watched it, and it kind of surprised me. But, so, they have Monday Night Raw on Mondays, and then they have SmackDown Live on Tuesdays. And then, like, their pay-per-views once every, like, couple months, on Sundays. Like, they have WrestleMania once every year, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. They just recently, I think last year, 2 years ago, added this women's evolution thing, and, like, tons more. And so, the next night is Raw, and it's supposed to be her going up against AJ Lee, played by Zelina Vega, for the Divas Championship. And so, she goes in, like, barely no one knows who she is, and she goes in and beats Zelina Vega, and wins the Divas Championship. Well, her family at home, her family and friends, are... And Ron is back. Ron got out of jail, was hanging out with Zack for a little bit. They were all at the house with friends, all their wrestling friends that they would invite to go wrestle at their little family's little venue thing. And so they're all sitting there watching, and when Paige pinned AJ Lee's in Lena Vega. I'm just gonna say AJ Lee. When Paige pinned AJ Lee, they went wild. Like, they're like, oh my gosh, my daughter is now the WWE Divas Championship. Her first day wrestling. And then it ends there. And I was like, wow, like, that's a good movie. So I just decided to do a review on it because I think, like, it was a really good movie and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, guys, hope you guys liked this video. It was a little long. That's just because I had so much to say about this movie. Like, this movie is awesome. And so, yeah. But yeah, sorry it was a little long just because I had so many things to say about this movie. But if you guys like this video, please smash the like button. If you haven't seen my last video, I unboxed my little Rocket Raccoon little pop bobblehead. And then if you check that out, I had put some links in the description for a couple Facebook pages called Kibblers Collectibles and Geeking Game. So go check them out. And yeah, just subscribe to this channel. And then if you subscribe, I don't know why you wouldn't do this, but click on the bell, or tap on the bell to turn on notifications so you can get notified of every single video I upload. And be the first one to watch and like. But yeah, just stay tuned. I will be uploading like I think 3 more videos today. And so I'm still doing, no, I have 4 videos still to upload, I think. I'll have to double check, but I will be having at least 3 or 4. I think it's 4. Because I still have a couple more reviews and a couple more reactions. Or a couple reactions to do. But yeah, just subscribe and click that bell to get notified of those videos. This Thursday, I'm going to be uploading 3 Throwback Thursday videos since I missed the last 2 weeks. So I might upload some tomorrow because Thursday's gonna be a little hectic with marching band, having to upload 3 videos plus marching band plus school. I'm gonna be exhausted. So I'm gonna try to upload at least 1 or 2 tomorrow and then 1 on Thursday. But yeah. But I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace.